The week is about wrapping up. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business Live. Coming up tonight, government commits $2.6 million for Ghana to deal with challenges in remittance services. Also coming up, some traders at the pedestrian shopping mall at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange say Thursday's decongestion exercise will boost business as business has declined in recent times. Also coming up, stakeholders in Agric challenge government to introduce measures to reduce risk factors financial institutions consider before extending credit to farmers. And thanks for making a date this Friday evening. My name is Daryl Kwao. More news after this break. Welcome. We want to begin tonight's bulletin from close by, and traders operating on the pedestrian walkway at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange in Accra continue to stay away a day after AMA authorities cleared them from the area. Charles Aite has visited the area after the demolition exercise to find out if the traders are complying with the order by city authorities.
Those people are selling outside there. They all have space here. They have space here. They all go outside and go and sell there. So they have to come inside the market. When they come inside, people will enter the market and buy for all of us. Yes. Now there are no more there. If people want some, they will come to the market and come and buy. Before, when they are there, people don't enter the market too. If when people say they want something, they will tell them there is none. They should go to Accra to go and buy. They don't tell the people that there's a market inside here. So now there are no more there. People will enter the market and we all sell where.
As at now, the market is not going. The patronage here is very low. They don't buy things. And most people cannot wait that you come to a market 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you don't buy anything, and it goes back like that. So that makes most of the people go back to the road and sell. So we are pleading to our people, if they will help us to come inside. The main reason is that the patronage here is low. So people don't have patience. You know, when you come to my shop, let me say about 2 weeks now, I don't sell anything. You see? So people don't have that patience to keep until the market goes on. So they will force to go on the street. So when somebody is passing away on the street, he can easily buy from that person. And when you are inside the market, the person is very difficult. They get inside to buy something. Unless that need the person very much, he needs something very urgent.
Some pension trustees have begun joining forces with firms in other industries to boost pension in the informal sector. The pension trustee with a focus on the informal sector, People's Pension Trust, has joined forces with investment firm Das Capital as well as telecoms company Vodafone Ghana to extend pension services to the informal sector.
85% of Ghana's informal sector is believed to be without access to any pension policy. The latest merger will pave way for the informal sector to be fully covered by effective pension packages. Chief Executive Officer of the People's Pensions Trust, Samuel Bediako Waterberg, tells Joy Business the use of mobile money platforms will promote flexibility in accessing pensions.
Currently, what we see is that people in the informal sector, they don't have access to pension. And this has to do with three things. One, they don't have a bank account. They are not formally employed, so it means that they have to save for their pension on their own. And thirdly, often they find the challenge of the highly cost in savings. With this partnership, we provide a service where people can save for their pension with their mobile phone. And we know in Ghana, 95% of people have a mobile phone. Now, what we are doing is we are creating accessibility for pension. So it doesn't matter wherever you are, you now have the opportunity to save. That is one. Secondly, we are also going to drive what we call financial education, educating people about the need of pension. And as people understand the need of pension, and it's now easily accessible for them to save for their pension, I think we'll get more people in the the informal sector joining and coming on board to save for their pension.
Pension firm Dusk Capital is hopeful the merger will help regulate pension schemes in Ghana's informal sector. Chief Executive Officer of Dusk Capital, Daniel Sertitu, says his outfit is poised to ensuring the financial safety of all subscribers.
We are governed by an act, the National Pensions Act, which stipulates what places that we or portfolios that we can invest funds in. So we just want to assure customers that we will do the right thing as enshrined in the act, which mandates us to do this thing. So your funds are secured, they are safe because they will be put in portfolios that are risk-free, so that it won't become like a Ponzi scheme that tomorrow you wake up and you save for 10 years and you can't get your money. So those are the regulatory issues that we will make sure we adhere to them and we won't go beyond our bounds and protect people's money. Because don't forget, pensions is long-term in nature. Somebody wants to do investment for 30 years and with the hope that in the next 20 years to come, he'll have his money. So you can't joke with somebody's investment. You can't joke with somebody's future. So it becomes empirical that rules and regulations are adhered to, and nobody takes everybody for granted and moves out of what you call your scope of jurisdiction. So we will adhere to that.
On its part, Vodafone says merging with the People's Pension Trust through its mobile money packages will see the number of mobile money subscribers increase by 30,000 by end of 2017. Martin Obenaje is the head of Vodafone.
Vodafone in itself has over 8 million customers, and we are hoping that all our customers who are on our network will have the opportunity to be able to, through Vodafone Cash, make a meaningful contribution to their own. So what we'll do is that we'll target all our customers, inform our customers about the service, inform Ghana about the service, and then hope that we get as many people as we can to be able to get onto the service.
So by end of year, how many people are
you? So by end of year, by projection, probably we should get almost about 40,000 people on the service.
All right.
Now, stakeholders in the agric sector have challenged government to introduce measures to reduce the risk factors financial institutions consider before extending credit to farmers. This, according to them, will encourage lending to the agricultural sector. Access to credit has always been a major setback to the industry because financial institutions are apprehensive of certain associated risks. Deputy Chief of Party of the USAID Financing Ghanaian Agricultural Project, also known as FinGap, Dr. Victor Entry, spoke with Joy Business at the 4th Annual Agribusiness Investment Summit held in Accra.
Agric financing has been an age-old challenge affecting Ghana's agriculture industry. The purpose of the Agribusiness Investment Summit was to showcase viable agribusiness investment opportunities in maize, rice and soy value chains, as well as link up these businesses to financial institutions. In an interview, Deputy Chief of Party for FinGap, Dr. Victor Entry highlighted risk mitigation is a prerequisite to unlocking lending opportunities to the sector.
What government has to do now is to bring in a lot of these risk mitigation tools. Because if the bank will be assured that, look, if I lend to farmer A, farmer B, or anybody along the chain, I could be assured of something to fall on should the unexpected happen, then the farmer would easily have access to this financing. Another thing is there should be the requisite environment for them to sell. So it means that the government should control imports. If there's anything that they could do to control imports, they have to do it, because if I produce and I can sell, when a financial institution comes to me and says, look, I want you to produce so that I can give you money. But you say I can give you money, but you don't have anywhere to sell. So how can you assure me that you can pay back the loan at the end of the day? So if there's a requisite environment, competitive market, we are not saying block imports, no. Make it competitive for the local businesses to compete in. And I believe that if you're able to compete locally properly, you can compete outside. So as we create the requisite environment for them to even go beyond our boundaries to sell, then give the impetus or give the requisite encouragement to the financial institution to give more loans.
Under the 5-year USAID FinGap Financing Ghana Agriculture Project, approximately $170 million in private capital from financial institutions has already been disbursed into the maize, rice and soya value chains, benefiting over 1,708 small, medium, including large enterprises.
Build the capacity of the financial institution for them to understand the dynamics in agribusiness financing. And that has actually led to the over $170 million of financing over the past 3.5 years into the rice, maize, and soya value chains alone. Only these three. Because of the capacity building that we've done for them. Two, because of the business advisory service providers that we use. Because the business advisory service providers, these are the consultants who package the deals for the small and medium, including large agribusinesses in the rice, maize, and soya value chain. So when they package them, they send them to the financial institutions. And these financial institutions make it very easy for them to just go through the rest of the due diligence for them to access finance. So what we've done differently from what it used to be before 2013 was the fact that we built capacity of financial institutions, we built capacity of business advice service providers for them to understand the dynamics within the agribusiness space, and also encourage some of these financial institutions through motivation for them to unlearn to these SMILES. We call them SMILES, that's small and medium, including large enterprises.
The 4th annual Ghana Agribusiness Summit was under the theme, Making Strategic Financing Work for Agriculture.
The Swiss government has given a grant of $2.6 million to Ghana to be used in dealing with challenges in remittance services. The fund was made available by the State Secretariat for Economic Affairs of Switzerland to the Finance Ministry in a ceremony in Accra. There's more in this report.
Remittance services between other countries and Ghana is said to be expensive, according to the latest World Bank report. In the quest to reduce the associated costs of remittance services, the government of Switzerland has launched a $2.6 million facility. This will provide financial support for companies to develop innovative remittance products and services at a lower cost. Deputy Head of Cooperation at the Embassy of Switzerland in Ghana spoke with Joy Business.
We saw in our analysis that remittances are an important factor in the economy of Ghana, and see also the challenges, and these are the challenges we are addressing with this fund. So there's no direct link that there are major direct challenges between Switzerland and Ghana in the remittances, but it's a contribution to the development and the economic development of Ghana, which is important.
Beyond this $2.6 million, are we going to see any support from the Swiss government to Ghana in terms of financial services?
Well, we just launched a country strategy for the years 2017 to 2020, and we earmarked a fund of 75 million, which Switzerland is committed to invest or to contribute to Ghana's development, given that there is interest, positive development, and good cooperation, of course.
The project will be supported by the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, GIPS, through its electronic infrastructure. Clara Arthur is the General Manager for Projects and Business Development at GIPS.
We have the infrastructure to promote what this grant is supposed to do. Basically, what we have done is, with the investment that we've put in place, working with our member banks and banks investing in our platforms, this grant, if we have fintechs, if we have technology-minded companies or even innovative companies, they can actually partner with banks and ride on what we have done. The whole essence is to ensure that remittances get to people when they need it and cheaper. I think if you remember, the whole time it's always been mentioned it's expensive for people to receive remittances. We want to make it as cheap as possible. And the only way you can have a product come as cheap as possible if it's scalable and a lot of people have access to it. So what GIPS is doing is working with our member banks to ensure that we get remittances to where it is needed. So we've got the platforms that does that. You can either use the eSwitch platform that we have, or you can use the instant payment platform that we have, which actually guarantees that the remittances that you receive will get to you instantly.
The overall goal of the project is to enhance the impact of remittances on the economic growth and poverty reduction in Ghana.
Now, popular messaging service WhatsApp suffered a widespread global outage on Wednesday night, remember, and that lasted for over an hour before being resolved. Now, the service was down in parts of India, Canada, the United States, Brazil, and of course here in Africa. Now, reports say it affected people who use the service on Apple's operating system, Android, and Microsoft's Windows Mobile OS. Now, Kuko appears sampled the views of some Ghanaian users on the impact of the situation on related businesses.
must have been a bit of a rough night if you enjoy using the internet. WhatsApp went down for more than an hour, and users of the popular Facebook-owned messaging service turned to Twitter and Facebook to vent their frustrations. With 1.2 billion users worldwide and approximately 5 million out of those users coming from Ghana, WhatsApp is one of the most commonly used message applications in the world. It's widely used across the world for group chats, for SMS in over 100 countries across the globe. Joy Business spoke to some WhatsApp users to find out what happens when the most popular message application in the country shuts down for almost 2 hours.
I didn't notice it had crashed, but I realized when I was sending a message in the evening, like it wasn't going through, so I thought it was a maybe network issue. I use WhatsApp on a daily basis to communicate with my friends as well as official staff when, for instance, I need to send a file to a colleague or something.
I was working on something with a designer before it crashed. I actually didn't know it had crashed, but then I was waiting for my design for a really long time. When I didn't get the design, I started blaming Tigo because they are my data service provider now. But then eventually I go on Facebook and I realized that WhatsApp had crashed. I was developing a website and I had to wait for the design. And since the design wasn't coming, I had to put everything on hold. And with deadlines, oh Charlie. Okay, so basically it affected me somehow, but not that much. It just affected my timeline.
For me, it wasn't that bad because I didn't have any business or anything like that, but I was just trying to meet up with a friend, and I sent the message, but I could see that it wasn't received. So I was kind of wondering what was going on, why her phone was off, because we had already made plans. But yeah, then I just called her and we figured it out.
We do people bugging me because people will be calling me my photos. Okay, but then if it goes longer than that, maybe someone has to send me money and they have to give me yo, go take their money here, then I'll be mad. I'll be mad because then I'm not getting the money I have to get. But then apart from that, I'm cool. I can email anyone or give them a real call and tell them, oh, I'm here, or maybe when they have to send me something, I'll call me and stuff.
Joy Business speaks to IT developer Paul ZM to find out what happens to a company like WhatsApp after a digital blackout such as this.
Ideally, companies like these, you'd call them SaaS or software as a service based companies, and they provide services like WhatsApp, or there's Google Drive and all those kind of things. And what happens is if your service is unreachable, your dependability, which is the central pillar of why people are using you, goes down. It's the same way when companies hacked, when Yahoo got hacked, their stock plummeted because people lost trust in the service and everybody else wants to sign on to another company. So ideally, what would happen is the next best app that does the same thing starts to get more users from that app that's failed or crashed for X amount of time. So the main loss would be your user base would migrate to other apps, or best case, people start using multiple apps that do the same thing, so that if one crashes, they can hop onto the other one. And luckily, it wasn't for too long. If it goes on for too long, people will find alternatives, and that's where you're really in trouble because your assumed valuation drops with your user base. Ghana.
And that was Kukua Pierre's report. We want to move on now. And misconceptions about pigs have over the years affected consumption of pork and its byproducts. This ranges from religious reasons to varying health concerns. But changes in consumer tastes and economic trends appear to have changed the story, at least in the Kumasi metropolis. Lab Business's Prince Apia has been exploring how an increasing patronage of pork appears to have translated into the latest business trend in the Ashanti regional capital. That's in a special Friday feature.
Dakojom used to be the only area considered the hub of pork business in the Kumasi metropolis for years. This is because of the misconception of many health complications ascribed to consuming the animal product. But the change in consumer behavior towards the meat has changed the face of the business in the metropolis.
The main idea we I like pork is I'm from goats and sheep, but the oil from goat and meat, it won't help me. So if I go to pork oil is almost complete for my personality. That's why I always go to pork.
In a week, how much do you spend buying pork?
Okay, I get friends where they do pork business, so if I buy one, I get one free. So I'm almost every week I go 3 times in the week. So if I buy one, I get two. I get one free.
I know that pork is sweet. No one thing.
Pork is nice. The fat is not as bad as people suggest. I've shunned buying other kinds of meat. I eat only fish and pork. I spend 30 cedis on pork every week. I eat it every day.
Mamiya happens to be one of such persons benefiting from the change.
Patronage is high because it is very cheap. For any amount you can have for yourself a slice, even with soup.
Parties and events such as funerals all feature pork. The business has grown with pockets of pork joints springing up almost everywhere. So 6 months ago, there wasn't any pork joint here at Tech Junction. But as I speak to you now, there's this new one here. And as at 10 p.m., business is still ongoing.
Oh, pork The pork business is very good these days. I was running a consumer goods shop which fetched little return, so I switched to this job.
This increase means that pork farming is becoming lucrative because its production and demand must go up. Santido's farm is a piggery with over 600 pigs located on the Santasi Road. The biochemist turned farmer Kumasi Intim is practicing the farm-to-table concept in pork production. He kills between 30 and 40 pigs in a week for processing and consumption.
The demand for pork is fantastic. Currently now, pork is more expensive than beef. So that tells you the story. There is a demand for it. Now we need to meet that demand.
Farmers have had to stop due to low patronage, but Mr. Intim explains injecting science into pig production is the key to addressing the challenge for commercial production.
You can't go and arguably take plantain waste and cassava waste and those type of things to feed the pigs and expect to make money. No.
All the talk about pork getting me hungry. You're watching Business Live. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we'll have our interview of the day.
Business Live today.
Welcome back. EcoBank is promising to deliver superior returns to investors as it pays out almost 90% as profits to shareholders. This will result in each shareholder getting 82 pesos for every share held, totaling 240 million cedis, the highest payout by the bank. Now, this was announced by the bank at its annual general meeting in Accra today. Managing Director of EcoBank, Daniel Saki, tells Joy Business this is part of the bank's strategy to deliver real value to shareholders. That's our interview of the day.
Was a challenging year. As is usual with every election year, the economy goes through challenges, but despite these challenges, we've managed to put in place measures to enable us to finish the year on a successful note. Going forward, we think that key will be distribution. We need to come out with services that respond to the needs of our customers. The modern customer today is looking for convenience, is looking for accessibility, and is looking for affordability. We are investing heavily in the area of technology that will allow us to leverage on the technological space to deliver the financial services. We believe that going forward, the mobile area will be one of the key areas for delivering financial services. And the investments we are making today will position us properly to be able to deliver those services to our various clients at a price that is affordable.
Let's come to the non-performing loans as well. Again, what measures are also being put in place to make some good recovery on that one? I mean, shareholders are quite assured about it. What other things are being put in place to improve the position of these NPLs?
We are undertaking two things. We have looked at those entities that are in a position to perform, but have had challenges due to systemic issues in the economy. We have engaged in discussions with them and are restructuring some of those undertakings. We believe that by the time we finish with the restructuring process, we'll have a fair idea as to what they are going to do going forward.
Interview of the day.
And that's our program tonight. Thanks for watching. My name is Daryl Kyle. I'll see you next week. Stay tuned.